So hi, everybody. Welcome to our February meeting. I think we'll jump right in, and while we're waiting for two more people. Oh, here's Elizabeth. I'm going to text Jane. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Hi. All right, so thanks for coming, everybody. Let's just get started. Let's motion to start the meeting.
Yes.
Melinda, second.
I'll second, Liz.
Liz, okay. And let's approve the minutes from the last meeting. Did everybody have a chance to look at them? And if so, if whatever corrections needed to be made were made, I think they were good by my reading. Can we approve the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion, Michael?
Yes,
Motion
I'm sorry.
to approve the minutes.
Yes.
And Christina, you're seconding? Okay, good. I have to send Jane the link. She doesn't have it.
Oh, I can do that if you want.
Thank you. Yeah. Send it to her Gmail, not her Vomni.
Okay.
Thanks. So Melinda, you're going to take over and explain our first segment.
Yeah. So we're trying to start this 5-minute kind of talk from each member, if you're interested, to talk about either what you do in your profession or what inspires you in the arts, or any interest or shows, can be anything. Sort of what I started last month, talking in my studio about my paintings. It's volunteer. You don't have to do it. We'd love to hear from everybody, obviously. Again, there's no pressure, but we just think it'd be a nice way to get to know each other, especially since we're on Zoom and can't be in person. And Michael has to go next. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael and let him talk for a few minutes about what he does. So thank you, Michael.
You're very welcome. Thanks for letting me have a few minutes of chatting time.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what more I could add after speaking at our meeting last month. I mean, my passion for the arts is in the performing arts, and that began in high school. And I remember very clearly, it all began actually on a bet. And we were having lunch one day in the cafeteria. My friend, his name was Mike also. We were sitting there having lunch, and somebody came over and said, "Hey, are you guys interested in trying out for the musical in the spring?" My first response was about to be, "No way, not at all." But Mike said, "Yeah, I'll do it. And I bet I get a better part than you, Michael." And I said, "Really? Okay." So we both tried out for the show. It was West Side Story. It was junior year of high school. We both got into it, but I ended up getting a bigger part, much to his chagrin. And then I tell you what, that first night, opening night, we were backstage behind the curtain. And in the beginning of West Side Story, they do like this whistle to kind of call the different gangs to come and get together. And the crowd immediately kind of reacted to that. And then the first few notes of the musical began. And right away, I was instantly hooked. And I did that show. I did the next show the following year. And then right out of high school, I began to perform. I didn't go to college to be in a theater program. I wanted to get kind of a, like a regular liberal arts education and not kind of zero in on one thing. But while I was in undergrad, I was always auditioning and doing shows. And I would go off for a couple of months and then come back and take a course and do a semester. So basically my undergrad was about 8 years, much to my parents' chagrin. But I had a great time. I was able to do schooling and also perform and learn that way. I learned, to this day, I learned better by doing. So for me, being a performer, I didn't want to be sitting in a class. I wouldn't have done as well as I wanted to. So I performed, all the way out through the 90s, and then mid 90s or so, I was asked to do a summer program like a summer workshop with kids, anywhere from ages 5 to 18. And I loved it. And I was still working. I was still kind of trying to find that next big job. And I kept going from job to job, but they weren't like big things. And I was getting a little frustrated. And I kept going back to that one summer when I did that summer workshop with kids. So late 90s, I went back to school to get my master's in education. And I knew right away that the thing that I wanted to do, no matter where I ended up, was start or be a part of a theater program at that school. So my first job was at a private school in the city. And I got that theater program going, and they hired a drama teacher specifically. And then we kind of worked together to create new shows. And I was loving every second of it. I was teaching and also doing the arts, and it was great. And then I left that job after a few years and went into public education. And right away, I was creating a theater program at this school that had no theater program. And again, I was still a pretty new teacher, so I was kind of balancing between the anxiety of being a teacher and trying to get tenure with during this theater program and creating this theater program and getting kids involved. And eventually that kind of took off, and it was well received, and I loved it. And then I transferred to the middle school in the district where I teach, and I teach out in Long Island in the district of Great Neck. And at the middle school, they already had a drama teacher. So I kind of did some stage management, some other production work, building, painting props behind the scenes. And it was enough, it was fine. And then I guess about 7 or 8 years ago, they asked me to take over the summer musical workshop, which had fallen on hard times when the previous teacher, director of it, tragically and suddenly passed away. And when I got there, the interest was low. The kids weren't really into it. It had become basically kind of like they would just do reviews, and they would get up there, sing a song, and sit down. And I say, well, if I'm going to be a part of that, I don't want to do that. I want to do a fully staged musical, costumes, music, and whatnot. So there was some headbutting, and I kind of won out. And I got that first summer, I only had about 19 kids or so. But the feedback from the kids and from the parents was positive enough that the next year, 22 or 23, and then the next year, 25, 26, we kept growing. And then I guess the last summer before, the last pre-COVID summer, I had like 40, 45 kids between on stage and off stage. Plus I had 6 student interns, some of whom were the high school students in the district, and some of them were graduates who came back for the summer. And it was so exciting to see these middle school kids getting involved in a drama during the summer when they didn't have as many distractions and they could really kind of devote it. And we only had 5 weeks and a couple of days to put on these shows. And it was very intense. And my musical director was who was also the fine arts and performing arts chairperson at the high school. She was bringing in people, and we worked together quite nicely. And we ended up doing things in the park there in Great Neck on their summer stage, and in this one park where they have a little gazebo when we performed there with the kids. And so I love performing arts. And I know that last month we had the great, art studio that we were looking at. And I kind of lean towards the performing arts, although I do appreciate the arts of any kind. That's kind of my story. I love what I do as a teacher, but any chance I get to perform or to direct, I should say, and teach drama. I've taught at my wife's old dance studio. I did drama there. We do, I think I said it last month, I said that my wife and I now for about 15 years, we have done the Nutcracker. And it became much bigger in the last 5, 6 years. We went over to the Capitol Theater in Portchester. And she's really in charge of it, but I kind of did a couple of the bits with the battle scene at the end of Act 1, where I staged that, and she does all the rest and heavy dancing stuff. I don't get involved in the dancing that she does. But again, I love performing. I do miss performing to a certain extent, but I do get a lot of pleasure from teaching kids and taking kids who have never been on stage before and getting them on stage, and then them coming back the next year or the next summer and wanting to do some more. And I think that I think the arts are important as part of education, whether it's a private school or public school. They should be well supported by the central administration, or if it's a private school, whoever is running that school. And I think it's a benefit to all children to, whether it's visual arts or performing arts. And I'm lucky that in Great Neck, there is a respect and support for the arts. They have a great music program, and at both the middle school and the high school levels, they have great performing arts programs. And my little bit there in the summer is also getting some good feedback, and I'm happy about that. And that's kind of when I saw that there was an opening for this. I put my name in the running for it a couple of years ago, actually, I think it was. And then it came up again this year. I thought, all right, maybe this is the time that I can be a part of this. And I know that we had spoken about how we are connected in some ways with the Emmelyn Theater. And I think when I looked at that list of events coming up, I'd like to be involved with whatever the Emmelyn is involved with and kind of being on that. Plus the Shakespearean company that we also work with in the summer. That's kind of where I would like to go. And and again, it's a part of me performing. My dearest and closest friend, who was my mentor also, and he's the one that said, whatever you do, you want to have options, and you want to make sure that all the facets, all the aspects of production and theater and acting and I kind of, whatever I do is kind of for him. And he passed away a couple of years ago, out of nowhere. And I think whenever I get a chance to do any kind of artistic, endeavor, I think of him. And I even, as part of this, I think about how would he want to be a part of this too, and try to get things going in the village of Mamaroneck. But I do look forward, possibly, if I can, to be part of whatever work is being done with the Emmelyn. I think I went on for longer than 5 minutes, and I apologize for that.
No, thank you. You've set the bar really high here, Michael.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I did not mean to do that. I have a lot of passion for the arts, and maybe it came out too much tonight, and I apologize for ranting on it. But
Melinda, can I address Michael?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Robin Campbell. I've been involved with the Arts Council, I guess 2 terms on the board and volunteering for these last few years. I also have a passion for the performing arts. I'm on the board of the Harrison Players Community Theater, and I think it would be very interesting for you to come and see a show and meet our director.
I know Anthony.
Oh, you know Anthony? Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
Priscilla.
Yeah, I know. The mentor that I talked about, George, when he passed away, we put together.
Oh, I know it's George you're talking about.
George Puello, and
Yes.
he was very involved at the Dinner Theater, which is no longer there, unfortunately, in Elmsford. But right before they closed, we did a big benefit memorial for him there.
Yes.
I was part of that, involved in the creation of it. Plus, Anthony was involved in that too. And that's when I first met Anthony. I mean, we weren't very close at that time.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second, Michael. I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. I don't want to, curb anybody's. No, I don't. I'm just acting in the interest of time for all of us. And your enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. And I'm glad, Robin, that you made the connection. There are other people too that are interested in the performing arts. I know Larry. You want to say hello, Larry? Larry's a volunteer now, but he was on our board for the past few years. And Larry, you've also been interested in Shakespeare, and we weren't able to do it because of COVID. But Michael, you and Larry should also connect. And there are others of us too that are interested in the performing arts. But I think, Michael, you're probably our most enthusiastic and accomplished member right now on the board. No, really, in the world of performing arts.
Well, thank you.
And I just want to add that I saw a fabulous production of Company yesterday on Broadway.
So did I this week. Weren't they fabulous?
And we're seeing 6 on Sunday,
Oh,
on
great.
Saturday.
Larry, you can go next.
I'm a volunteer. Let the real people
That's
go.
okay. No,
You're
no,
real-
we're a group. We're a group.
I'm
Thank
not-
you, Michael. I welcome your words. And we haven't focused enough on the performing arts, I don't think. So,
Right.
you'll
I've
you'll
tried.
help us along.
It was great. Thank
All right. So, yeah, and like Melinda said, if whoever else wants to jump in and give a little bit of their thoughts and their passions, share their passion in the arts, we'd love to hear from you. Did everybody get, I'm concerned that we're not checking our Vomni emails or that some people are not yet signed on. I know that some people have had difficulty getting signed on. So if you in fact are not, please call Sally or Cliff at the village offices and make sure that you do have an account, because that is where all our correspondence is going to be generated from. And I don't want our emails being missed. So if somebody did not get our events calendar, the projects for 2022, would you let me know? Is there anybody here that didn't get that? It's a breakdown of Carla and Larry.
I didn't check my email, sorry.
And I'm one of those that's had trouble getting it set up. But I'll
Who
call
was-
Cliff
who was
again.
that? Oh, Carla. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call Cliff again.
Do they let volunteers be part? Because it seemed like a lot of things are addressed to the board members and not to volunteers. So I'm just wondering, I don't have an account.
I don't think so, Nora, right? I've been trying to, I sent volunteers the event list on their private emails, on your private emails.
Yeah.
Nora, is that right? That,
Yeah, it's only for people who are on the boards, so you'll have to correspond.
yeah, I believe I sent it to everybody, so you'll let me know if you.
I can double check, but I think it's for people who are appointed to the boards. I will confirm with Sally. I mean, because you are volunteering with the board, they'd prefer that you do it, so I'll check.
So then, I mean, not everybody has the list of events going forward, but I'll make sure that those of you who don't get it in the next, I'll send that out in the next few days. Basically, I broke it down into categories as they naturally fall. And so the categories are poetry, because we have 4 different events under that, summer concert series, craft fairs, which includes our online presence as well as the craft fair that we'll be discussing, public art projects, we'll go over those in a minute, and then special projects. Those are, projects that don't have a category. So let's jump into poetry events right now. Somebody say something? So for poetry events, we'll just start with quick check-ins. My feeling, unless anybody has other feelings, is that we all should do a lot of our work off between meetings and then bring our progress to meetings and our questions and our conversations. I mean, I don't want not to bring our full work forward, but a lot of the kind of minutia or decisions that need to be made, the more we can get done in between meetings, the better for all of us and for our time together, so we can move things forward. With that in mind, Jane, do you want to just give a quick synopsis of where we are with Poetry Live? Jane, you're not on. Jane? You're on mute.
Okay, got it. All right. So I don't really have any updates in the sense that we are still moving forward with the Emlyn, and having it, as long as things don't get worse, having it live. And the teachers are working on their poems with the kids. We have everybody on board. So it looks like every school is involved, and the only decision we have to make would be when we find out how many students each teacher has. In some schools, like Mamaroneck High School or Hommocks, we have multiple teachers involved. So therefore, Marina and I then try to give them more than the usual, let's say 8, and they might get 12 positions, or something in that range, so that every teacher has some students participating. So that's where we are now. And the only other thing we have to decide on is, and Marina and I guess we'll talk about this, who would be a good person to be, like a person to address the students, or we talked
guest
about a
speaker.
young poet. Yeah, a
Mhm.
speaker, somebody to kick off the program. So that's the next thing I think to
Yeah.
work on, to find a good person to make this, a vibrant, opening.
Will we have our laureate in place by then?
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be
Something to think about.
one, yeah. That
One
would be,
option.
yeah, one option as a
Yeah.
having the poet laureate. So well, what is the, for the poet laureate, what did we say was the deadline? What is it? Solange, you had that list?
It's next on our agenda anyway,
Oh,
so.
okay, so then we'll see.
Shall we?
Because March 27th is the date of the Poetry Live performance. So that's on a Sunday, the last Sunday in March.
Solange, do you want to just give us an update on where we stand with the poet laureate?
The village
Jane,
of,
Yeah.
will it be live or not, or we don't know yet?
Well, we're planning, the Emlyn said that we can have it live, but of course, if something happens in the meantime, that would prevent us from doing that, but that's what we could do. Then we would do it remotely, like we did last year.
Still beautiful.
Okay, Solange, where are you? Oh, there,
I
okay.
just want to say, I think I think George Latimer is here. So.
Yeah, that's me. I'm on the phone listening in, and if there's anything you like me to do at the county, just ask.
Hi, George, welcome.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, George.
Nice to be with you.
You as well.
Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate it.
Good, my
We're
pleasure.
we're talking about our poetry program right now, and we've got 4 events around that. So we in the village and the town, well, we in the village are looking to dedicate, to choose a new poet laureate since Mary Louise Cox passed last year. And so we're getting updated on that process right now.
okay. Hi,
That sounds
George.
like a great thing to do.
Thank you. This is Solange DeSantis. Hello, George.
Hey, Solange. Good, thanks. How
Hi
are you?
there. Good, good. The Village of Mamaroneck Board of Trustees approved our job description and our plan. But I want to ask Nora how it goes with the town.
I haven't heard back. I've left a message and I haven't heard back. I can't imagine they're gonna say no, but I haven't heard back. They were gonna discuss it last week at their work session.
Okay. We certainly have the village's approval well in hand. So Elizabeth sent the members of the committee some ideas, and I think we're ready to call for candidates. The only thing that I perhaps need help with is what venues, where do we call for candidates? And how? Arts Council Facebook page.
Journal News, probably.
Sorry, Elizabeth?
Maybe the Journal News.
Sherry knows about this because you've called for artists, right, Sherry? For the
Arts
craft fair?
Westchester? You want Arts Westchester? Oh, well, it's just Mamaroneck, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mamaroneck and the town.
Library, probably the library too. They have an Instagram page and their newsletter. Probably library is a good idea. Maybe multiple. I'm sorry, Solange, did we decide to include the town of Mamaroneck, and would that maybe include Larchmont Library as well?
Yeah.
I think it would.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
libraries for sure.
I don't know about that because the village of Larchmont is a different municipality, isn't it? I think town of Mamaroneck and village of Mamaroneck, you're talking about the unincorporated part of the town of Mamaroneck, not Larchmont.
I think you're right, Sherry. I think there might be, a loophole isn't the right word, but I think there might be some part that doesn't overlap, where I don't think that the town of Mamaroneck or maybe Larchmont has an arts council. So we had considered.
The village of Mamaroneck is in the town of Mamaroneck.
Right.
We're talking, yeah, but
No, only part of it is.
Part in,
Right, but all of the village of Mamaroneck.
Right, well, we're talking about the Larchmont.
We were thinking of extending it since there's no arts council on that side for the call to be
Town
longer.
of
Yeah,
Mamaroneck.
there isn't, folks, I can help you out a little bit here. There is no arts council, to my knowledge, in either Larchmont Village or Mamaroneck Town, the government that covers the unincorporated part of the town. Because you want to draw attention from people who live in all of these things for various art purposes, I don't think it's a bad idea for the three communities to see if they agree and name a single poet laureate. And then when you have an event like Poetry Live, you can draw attendance because people from Larchmont Village come into Mamaroneck Village all the time. And it would give you a greater pull. And I don't think you'd have competition there. They have, there's some other art organizations around, but I think they'd be happy to be cooperative in what you're doing.
So
Yeah.
is it poet laureate of Larchmont and Mamaroneck?
Yeah.
Well, you could call it the poet laureate of Mamaroneck, but Larchmont could adopt them as their poet laureate too.
That's true, George.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah. Mary Louise was the poet laureate for the village and the town. Okay, offline, obviously I'm not an administrator on the Facebook page, so whoever is being with us, so we can put the call out.
So
Sounds okay.
what is the date for the call out? When will we be ready to launch this? Let's say we'll get the list together. We'll get it
Yeah,
ready.
we're ready now. Yeah.
And also say, Robert Ingenito can put it on the village's page, and then he posts,
Yeah.
posts everything, he posts on a variety of social media for the village as well.
Try to get a spot on LMC TV too that they could run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I would suggest a meeting. I'm happy to jump in with Elizabeth and Solange and
Jane.
Robert. I mean, we can, and Jane, are you
Yeah.
interested in doing this? Yeah, and we'll lay out the plan for getting this message out, and then we should be ready to launch next week.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's plan
There's
to,
contact information to the bottom of that job description that we have, who to contact and with what, letter, resume, that sort of thing, and we're good to go.
Yeah, letter, resume, and probably maybe a work sample.
Sample. Yeah.
who is the contact for the call? Who will they respond to? Who's collecting this?
So
I'm
Who's
happy
our
to
point
be the
person?
yeah, I'm happy to be the contact. Is that okay with everybody else?
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you've been, pushing this forward for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's figure out a date, and you guys will let me know too, to meet about this.
Okay.
Poetry Garden dedication. The proposed date is Friday, May 13th. Because of holidays and school being out in April, we decided to move it to May, also because the garden will be in full bloom by May of all the new plantings that we've put in there. So, and I know the Cox family is able to come on that day, so we will put together an invitation list, and that will be our garden dedication. Also, the tortoise sculpture will be in well before that too. It's being installed in April during Poetry Month. Which leads me to the last point in the poetry section, which is the children's book. And Christina, you volunteered to take that on, and I'd love to speak with you more about that. But to refresh everybody, or if you haven't heard this proposal, we were thinking of doing an adaptation of Aesop's fable, because now we have a rabbit, a hare, and a tortoise in our poetry garden. So Christina has volunteered to be our literary person, and we'll get some input from others here too. And we're going to put together a little poetry booklet, fable booklet, something like, the tortoise and the hare go to Mamaroneck, or something cute that incorporates in a whimsical way Mamaroneck and the tortoise and the hare story. And we're proposing to have that book available at our library and at the Poetry Garden opening also. So just something for the kids.
Great.
Marina, before we move off poetry, I just wanted to offer one thing that will span the garden opening, and maybe also when we move into the totes, because we had talked about some like goodie bags. We had talked maybe about getting some of Mary Louise's poems together and creating a bit of a chapbook, like a physical thing that folks could have, and maybe it would be part of the bags or to give out or buy at the dedication or have available in the library. I do have probably my best friend from poetry school is a busker, and I'm going to try to do this so you can see it. He makes his own chapbooks that are stunning. So like this is one that he did, and it has a magnetic opening, and then he binds them all by hand and he types on his typewriter, and then you can see all the binding is done. It's all stitched. And they're gorgeous. And he has a Patreon and an Etsy. So if we decided to take it out of our budget and have maybe a limited edition, 50 or 75 Mary Louise Cox chapbooks done that really do her work justice with, maybe there could be even something, Kevin's done a Provincetown memorial monument here, but we could even do something from her garden maybe on the side, or something from Mamaroneck. Kevin's really talented and he takes work all the time. So I would be able to work with him to do that. So it's something to just think about, and we could put it in bags. We could have it available at the garden dedication. And it might be a really nice way to honor all of that work and her art and have it kind of stay the course.
You might have to ask the family for permission to print her work.
Good idea.
I love the idea. There is a chapbook of her poetry. I know I worked on it, so I have it, and I have the document on my computer. We can use that. We can either reprint that, Sherry, as you said, with permission of her family. I think they would be thrilled. Elizabeth, I think it's the perfect idea for the dedication of her poetry garden. I hadn't thought of that. It's a great idea, and I love tucking it into our little tote bag.
Yeah.
And I love your idea of Kevin. I mean, it sounds kind of expensive, but let's investigate it and make it even more whimsical, and maybe put a tortoise and a hare on it, because the Cox family was very much behind those two sculptures too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Let's talk about that. I really love it. And the work of compiling the poetry is already done. So at least we're that far along the process. It's a great idea. Thanks for that.
Sure.
Okay, moving on to the summer concert series. The July 4th celebration, Solange. I think we're pretty much on track for that from what we know, right? Yes, thumbs up.
I don't know. Has the village decided?
I don't know either. I thought the word was that they had. Nora, do you know anything about that?
Fireworks are going ahead. Yeah. The fireworks are going ahead. I think the question remains as to whether or not the courtroom is big enough to have rehearsals in, if we still have to social distance then.
We did have a concert last fall. St. Thomas Orchestra came back to live performance for the first time since February 2020, and it was in Heathcote Hall at St. Thomas, which is much bigger than the courthouse. It's not terribly costly. It's a couple of $100, but it is bigger.
Could you poke around, Solange, and find out where we stand on that, if you don't mind? Like if there's any update as to the rehearsals and what will be allowed, and if we think this is moving forward.
Well, Nora, since you're on the board,
We're not meeting. We're still not meeting in the courtroom. So, I think we have to. I guess the question is, when do you need to start rehearsing?
Rehearsals usually start the last week of June,
Right. Okay.
but we have to have the call for musicians because this is an primarily volunteer orchestra. About 75% are volunteers. So the call really has to go out a month before July 4.
Right. So we need to make a decision at the latest in May.
Yes, definitely.
All right. I'll keep working on that.
And we are planning a spring concert at St. Thomas's Heathcote Hall at the beginning of May. So just FYI.
Okay. I will see. I will see.
All right, so we still need to find out about that. Next is our pop-up concerts. We have 4.
I'm sorry, Marina, there is one other thing.
Yep.
If we're going to do a July 4 concert, the stage and sound vendor has to be reserved, and this is actually not too early. So Jim Salter has to know.
And I'm not aware of where that entire budget came from, Sherry, or
Well, it came
someone?
from the village. The village always paid for that.
Yeah.
I don't, but, you know, with COVID and them, that Nora, you guys reworking the budget, I don't know if that's something that the village is gonna continue doing. Do you know?
Well, the budget, I mean, the budget starts June 1st, so it would be a new budget. So-
Yeah, but I probably wasn't in the budget the last 2 years, right? Because we didn't.
I think it was, well, it was definitely in the 2020 budget.
Hmm.
But what we need to do, and so I think it was not in the, I'm not sure if it was in the 2021 budget, because when we did it, we weren't sure that there would be no concert. So we're now we will be starting the 2022 budget, which will be adopted in April before for kicking off June
Right.
1st. This would be in the upcoming budget. So let me see what I can find in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. I think it was a line called celebrations, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna check right now.
Solange, would you kind of keep track with Nora on that? Thank you. I think before going to pop-ups, Jane, where are you?
Right here.
Do you want to talk about the Emlyn? Oh, you and I can talk about it together. I know, I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Yeah,
but Jane and
okay.
I have been meeting with the Emlyn.
Yeah.
Michael, we didn't call you about these concerts, but we'd like you to work on them. It's just that our meetings take place at 10 o'clock in the morning during the week right now. That's what's good for the Emlyn. So we will pull you in because I know you're interested.
Oh, who was that? Who's interested?
Michael wants to work with us on the
Oh, okay.
concerts.
Right. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes now. So what we're planning for 2 shows at the harbor. Do you want me to go over the figures, Marina?
No,
No.
not
Okay.
right now because they're not
Okay.
determined.
Yeah, so 2 shows at the harbor. For each show, you need a production crew, stage rental, you need a rain date, you have to pay for a rain date. And then there's always marketing for the event. So we're talking with Emlyn to share all of these costs. There's an additional, so those would always be on a Wednesday. I'm sorry, yeah. That's true, right, Marina?
That is true. Yep.
But
the-
the Columbus Park concert would be on a Saturday or Sunday to attract people to that area and have an artist that would really draw people in. And for that, you don't need a stage. We don't need lighting because it would be during the day, like 4 to 6. And we would have to do some production setup. So those would be 3 big events. And the Emlyn and possibly us too. Now, Nora, we were going to check on this the Emlyn is looking for donors, companies and organizations who might be willing to sponsor one event or more than one event or a particular amount of money. But we were wondering for the, well, maybe Marina, you already asked this, for the July 4th concert, are we allowed to have a sponsor also?
We're not looking for a sponsor for that.
No?
What we wanted to ask is,
Like somebody who would.
and the sponsors that we get for the other events, can their names also be on the same banner that includes the July 4th concert? So that's like a thing that we have to decide, but we're not going to look for anybody else to sponsor the July 4th concert per se.
Okay, it would just be that that concert could be on all of the promotions. and
Yeah.
Say a
The
sponsor.
sponsors would kind of be borrowing interest on a village event,
Yeah,
if we agree to it.
so you have to look into it, Nora?
I
See
mean,
if
well,
that's,
I think it's really up to whether you want to extend that to the 4th of July concert. I know that we have, the rec department often has sponsors for like the turkey trot. You know, there are people who sponsor village
oh,
events.
mhm,
So
yeah.
I think,
Are we allowed to approach businesses
I'm not sure how it works.
as a village entity and ask for
I'm not sure
sponsorship?
how it works. Let's find out how it works, because I know the village does it. I'm not sure how the ask is made.
Okay. I'll follow up with you on that, Nora.
And don't forget the July 4th Carnival and firemen, the fireworks and everything are all sponsored by lots of businesses around town. So,
Oh, mhm.
and
all
it's
right.
on all of,
Good point, yeah.
all of their banners and everything. So,
Now, for our new members, I'll just go over the situation from last summer is that we co-sponsored 2 concerts at the harbor with the Emlyn Theater. And I think by all measures, it was a real success. We had 2 great bands. One was kind of a Latin beach, Flor de Toloache, and the other one was Broadway hits. I think the attendance was between 700 and 800. Is that right, Jane?
Yeah, I think so. Mhm.
Yeah, we had great attendance. There were 2
Vibrant. It was just wonderful. Yeah. They
we had
loved
2
it.
food trucks there, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful event for us to be part of. And the Emlyn is aware that one of the aims for us, for the Arts Council, moving forward is to get more visibility. And the Emlyn is already, you know, they enjoy their own reputation. So I think a collaboration between us is really good. They want to become more part of our community and have a greater presence in the village, and we want more visibility. So I think the collaboration works really well. So like Jane said, we're looking to have 2 concerts on Wednesdays in the park, in the harbor. One is going to be Broadway hits again. Is that right, Jane?
Yes, because that was so popular. Everybody just loved it.
Yeah. And the other will be kind of a big name band, and they're going to be doing covers and some of their own music as well. And then, as Jane said, we're looking to have something at Columbus Park, more local, more residential, and we're thinking of doing a children's offering for the first hour and a half, and then another one for the next hour. So it's kind of a venue for the afternoon at Columbus Park. Larry?
Yeah. So people
Are
could
they,
bring.
are they
children.
all in August?
No, the dates that we have are July. These are the dates for the harbor, July 20, August 17. Those are the 2 harbor dates. And the Columbus Park is August 7 or 8. That's a weekend.
Great, thank you.
Okay. I don't know, just jump in because I'm trying to move quickly in the interest of time. So if you have any questions, please shout. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep moving on to our pop-up concerts, which is next. So again, for our members, the new members, last summer, we offered 4 pop-up concerts every Friday at different kind of pocket parks or, you know, community parks in town, in the village. And they were really, really wonderful. Larry, you can speak to them. Larry was kind of heading it up for us at the time he was on the board, but he promised he would volunteer on this for the summer forward. And we are looking for more volunteers to work on the pop-up concerts. We were thinking of, last year it was classical, maybe this year it'll be jazz. We're not sure. That's for the pop-up concert committee. So you guys all decide. But an example of the parks are Florence Park, Columbus Park, the Poetry Garden across from the library. And we did 2 in Columbus last year, but you know, maybe we'll do something else somewhere else. So that's the scene on the pop-up concerts. There are 4 nights, July 8, 15, 22, 29. So 4 Fridays in July. And we do local, what do they call them? Lawn cards for publicity. And, our marketing team will help us with the publicity on these. But we enjoyed really good attendance last summer, and we're looking for even more this summer. It's a great community event. Larry, do you want to say something about this? And are you on board to
I
work
would
with us
like-
again?
I would like to thank the support of Solange, you, Karina, and Sherry. We were a great committee, but we still do need 2 or 3 more people to join this year.
Mhm.
So just let
I'd
me
be
know.
happy to help out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
same. Happy to help too.
Carla, Melinda?
Mhm.
A lot of fun. We need to reevaluate timing of it regarding how long. But the Friday nights at I think it was 6:30 or 7 worked really well for us. And Nora, you were wonderful. I think you were at every single one of them with the rest of us.
It was great. They were
So-
fun. They were really fun.
If anything, I had several complaints that they weren't long enough, because by the last ones, people were bringing their tables and chairs and their wine and their cheese buffets like you go to Tanglewood. So it was very well received in that respect, and it was very nice. So I will be in touch to start the process. Thank you.
So Larry, who is on the committee with you? Sherry?
I'm hoping that Sherry says yes. Thank you. She said yes. We have Carla,
Carla, yeah,
and
Carla
Claire.
and Melinda, right?
Melinda. I'm hoping Marina says yes as well again, since I enjoyed her last year. I know you're stretched. And if anybody else, we could use one more, just let me know. Okay.
Solange.
That's Solange. Yes, thank you.
They're so much fun. I'm so proud of us for doing it. It was just such a cozy little offering for the summer. Great events. The last thing under summer concert series is Shakespeare in the Park. And Michael, I'm wondering if you want to check that out for us. 3 years ago, we had Midsummer's Night Dream. Is that what we had? Yeah.
No,
And
it was, oh my God.
No,
What-
wasn't it,
Much to do about nothing.
wasn't it Julius Caesar?
no,
No?
definitely not that. I can't remember myself.
Oh, no.
It was really good, trust me.
One year they did do Julius Caesar, but not that year.
I am getting old. I can't remember which one it was, but it was not Midsummer's because it wasn't funny. It was the,
It was the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival that did it. And we are interested in working with them again, although the thing about them is that they just do not use microphones or they don't use a sound system. And we found that to be a problem because this was down at the harbor and that people couldn't really hear the performance. So if the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival is not the best group to go with, then maybe there's another one. And Larry, I don't know if you're aware of other resources and if you want to work on that or not, but Michael, you might want to talk to Larry about it, at least his experience. I don't know the other groups, but are you interested in working on the Shakespeare, Michael?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right. So how about we get back to you on that? And, outside of this meeting, we talk about what other resources there are. But that was at the end of August, and that's kind of where our only opportunity lies as far as our kind of packed schedule with these summer concerts at the harbor.
Yeah.
So, that would be our target date, sometime the end of August.
Did we do that on a Sunday, Marina, that time?
No,
I don't,
it was a weeknight.
was it midnight? Mhm.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was on a Thursday.
Okay, because there was a group that, a Shakespeare group that did do, I know I read about it in the local newspaper, who did something last year. And it wasn't the Hudson Valley, but I'll try to find out, but it was another group that does Shakespeare.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can find out.
I'm happy to help on that one as well, if you guys decide you need help.
Okay,
Okay, so Carla and Michael.
Carla.
I'm going to send out a memo with it'll look like this, except it won't have all the descriptions. It will list all the events with the people who are going to be working on them. And if I'm missing somebody, you'll let me know. And if you want to join and you haven't spoken up today and you want to join any one of those, you'll let us know, because we always need help on every committee. Should I move on? Yeah. Sherry, craft fairs. And then we talked about different things.
So I unfortunately finally sent the email to Linda Bandari at the library to say that we weren't going to do it in the library this year at holiday season. So I think what we talked about last time was piggybacking on these summer concerts and maybe having the artists set up tables with their stuff, you know, maybe starting an hour before the concert or something like that, but sort of piggybacking on an event which is already going to draw people and it's outside. So, I mean, I'm happy to, you know, continue with that in mind, or if anyone else has another suggestion, we could take those too. You know, the thing about the library is the space is fairly small. We would, in the interest of social distancing, we would have to have very few vendors and limit people going through, and who's going to police people wearing masks, and, you know, because who knows what the mandates are going to be at that point. There was just too much, I think, liability and, you know, for us to deal with. So I think trying to find an outdoor way of doing it is best. So if it's not something you want to piggyback on the summer concerts, we could figure something out, you know, figure something else out.
There's also a possibility of a concert the weekend after Mother's Day that the Historical Society is working on with Arts Westchester. So that, I know you wanted to do it before Mother's Day, but there might be, it's a weekend afternoon.
It
So
doesn't
that-
have, yeah, it doesn't have to be, or since we're not going to do it in the library, it doesn't really matter when it's going to be.
I also think an option is waiting until winter again, the end of the year. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that too. But you know, don't forget that now, you know, things are different. So we'd have to go back to the lawyer and get a liability waiver written up if we're going to have it inside, I think, in terms of.
Yeah. I mean, so much remains to be seen what the end of the year is going to look like, but
yeah, it's so up in the air. Like I just feel like we can't even, if we're going to do it inside, I can't even, you know, think about what that's going to look like. That's why I thought maybe if we could even try it once, having a few people, not a big thing, not everybody, but maybe a few people, like Larchmont does, you know, outside. See how it goes, you know, and then if it works, it works. You know, some of these artists already have their setup. So even if we have to do it at the last minute and there's only a month in between, I think that's plenty of time for some people to set up a tent. So
Would you have a rain date, Sherry?
well, it would just be whatever, you know, we'd follow.
Date is for concert?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to add that I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that. You see, you have food trucks already at the concerts in the harbor. So
Yeah.
putting a couple of tables out, a couple of these booths as well.
Yeah.
You know, and people are walking through that area to get to where they're going to sit down. So they're going to be part of it anyway.
Right. So like if we had 10, let's say no more than 10, you know, start off with that. And they'd be spread out, you know, amongst, well, I don't know, where are you going to set up? Where was the concert last year? I can't remember. On which field? Marina?
the ones that we did with the Emlyn,
Yeah. Which field was it on?
I don't know what it's called.
Where was it in the harbor?
Oh, it was
Where
where,
it usually is. Yeah, every year.
What is?
Where it usually is, that with a
Band shell, is it?
band shell is like, you know, near the fence, the water is in the back of you.
Over there.
We've always had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have, if you're looking at the band shell all the way, you could either have them set up in the back of it, closer to the street, or you can have them to the left of it, if you're facing it, to the left of it. I mean, it's huge. We could do it anywhere.
There is a lot of space.
I'm gonna again volunteer, Sherry, that I think could be opportune. People are walking into the park itself, through the parking lot, and then onto that walkway, through the baseball diamond area into the area where we actually have the concert itself.
Right.
We could do that in that first area when they're walking from the parking lot into the park itself. So
Yeah.
it's easier to get people have their wares get into the park instead of taking it half a mile away. At
Yeah.
the same point,
Yeah.
people have to go through it. If you're going to put it in some place that they have to put their chair down and walk to again, chances are you'll have less business.
Yeah.
If they're walking through that area, set up a part that people can stroll through. They will have much more visibility if we're trying to promote that as well.
That's a
The-
great
then they-
idea. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And also,
Sounds good.
I mean, if we have the bags, you know,
Yeah,
we
we could sell
maybe
it
have a
at the
table
same time.
for that.
We already have the bags, so that we will have the bags, yeah.
Are we selling the bags?
I don't know that we were going to, but we can.
I mean, we can do, we can,
We
you
gave
know,
it.
depending on the event and what we do.
Is it on the mailing list?
What?
When I was helping out with the concert with the Evelyn, we handed the bags to people who were signing up with the mailing list. So we didn't sell them.
Well, that was, it was kind of a raffle, like we were offering it as raffle. I think we would probably be a little bit, we do something a little bit different. I don't know that that was impactful, you know, the way we did it last summer.
You know,
But
if you want to do something, you could pack the bag with literature on up and coming events, you know?
which
I,
yeah.
I actually have written a small little checklist of things that we could put in the bags because I've been thinking about it. Yes, I know we're running late on time, but I had the tote. I thought maybe the Emmeline, sometimes when you buy tickets in advance or you apply for a membership, they give drink tickets for an upcoming show. So if you could get a tote with drink tickets, the chapbook, the Mary Louise Cox chapbook, perhaps Christina's Aesop's book, Aesop's Fable book, and maybe an Arts Council card that on the back had the list of events coming up. And that might be a nice raffle item to get, which
Yeah.
doesn't, you know, it's not, that's a fun thing to pack up. And I think
I think it's great.
besides the books, it's kind of low cost.
So it seems to me, and Melinda, you're working on the bags. Just from this conversation, and we won't spend too much time on the bags, I'm going to eliminate some of the topics for tonight. It seems like the bags will be featured in different venues for different reasons. Sometimes we'll sell, sometimes we'll give them away, sometimes we'll raffle.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, with your tote ideas, I think you and Melinda need to connect on the bags. Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect, we'll do that.
I'm going to jump around. The essential workers tribute, I have nothing to add right now because we haven't, with some question marks as to dates and what's happening with that.
Guys, let me just say, I'm jumping off. It was an excellent program, and it's great to listen to how hard you're working. Great job.
Thank you, George, for coming.
Thanks, George.
Bye,
George.
George.
George. Bye.
Good luck. We'll see you out there. Bye-bye.
Melinda, do you want to talk about marine life?
Yeah, I need people to help me, I guess. You know, we'll start a committee on this. I need to get in touch with Ryan and see where we are on it, because I guess I'm taking it over from last year and I haven't done anything, to be honest. So I'll jump on that this week.
Yeah, you're picking it up from Jackie. And so
Yeah.
what it is it's 3D sculptures of marine animals that are going to be metal, probably. So it would involve commissioning a sculptor and painting all of these. And we have a lot to figure out. But if anybody has seen the rise above in Rye, the
Butterflies?
butterflies.
Yeah.
We're thinking of emulating something like that with the Marine Life Center, just to kind of create the home that Mamaroneck is, the harbor and marine life and all that. So, okay, so I'm just bookmarking that for the moment,
Yeah.
because Linda, I know that you have a lot of work and research to do on that with Kyle
Yes.
and whoever else you're working with.
Yep.
The last thing I want to talk about, and it will only take a few minutes, I just want to touch base with Piper and Christina, and then Carla is going to be working on it as well, is the marketing committee. And it's last but definitely not least, because I'm certainly really excited about this. And it's, you know, to put a good marketing program together will just help us, you know, with visibility and let everybody know what events are going on. And then we should be getting more people to all of our events. The more people know about what we do, and we refine our communication system. So the people that are on the committee right now are Christina and Piper and Carla and me. And anybody else is welcome to join us, because we'll definitely need help. Do you guys want to chime in? We haven't been able to meet with Carla yet because she was away, but we look forward to that in the next week. Piper in the dark, the silhouetted woman.
I know, I apologize. I'll get better lighting for the March meeting. But no, we met last week or the week before, and I think there's a ton of opportunity just to reach out to the different audiences that we came up with. I'm sure, you know, with this group, we might even think of others, but, you know, really focusing on what our message should be to both the participants and those that attend our events, obviously the local artisans, and how we bring them into the communication a little bit more, maybe highlight them, our business partners and sponsors. And then we had also talked about schools, right, Marina?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it was a good kickoff call, and I certainly got my wheels turning, and I'm excited to work with the group.
I'm excited too. Very excited. So that's where we are, guys. That's where we stand. I think, yeah. Anybody want to ask any questions? Say goodnight.
I'm going to volunteer. This is a fabulous committee this year. Thank you to all of you. And I'm just a volunteer.
No,
Very important, a very important one.
we super welcome all of our new members. I'm very excited to work with all of you, and yeah, I'm excited to work with our volunteers and you know the members that came on board from last time too. So thanks for the extra 6 minutes. Sorry,
I just wanted to volunteer again for the Harbor Island concerts, and to help with, you know, the art show that day. I'd like to work on both of them.
I have your memo. Thank you for that, Robin. Yeah, and if anybody else just didn't chime in on this meeting, but there's something that you want to work on, please let me know. And
Melinda, I'm happy to help you with the marine sculpture.
Oh, great. Thank you.
that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Who just said that? Christina?
Yes, Christina.
Sorry.
Okay.
And I just want to say,
Dave's on minutes now.
I was able to check the budget for this year. I was able to find it while we were talking, and so the budget for 2022 was the same budget for 2021 and 2020. So, but I think because you're not doing the concerts the way you were doing them, you know, the concerts in the park, you're going to probably want to adjust the budget, but the budget wasn't, you know, the budget wasn't cut. So I wouldn't worry about that ability to do the concerts, especially
Okay.
concert.
Great.
But we definitely need to have a chat with the village manager and the clerk treasurer as they ramp up for the budget for this year, because it'll be slightly different. Not just because of COVID, but because you've changed your programming.
Okay. So put that on the schedule. Okay. I think we're done.
Marina, did since I got on late, were the minutes approved?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
So sorry, Jane. Thank you. Yeah, the minutes were approved. Were you here for Michael's talk?
Yes,
You and I will go over whatever you might have missed.
okay,
And the fact that Piper came on board as a new member.
yes,
That's the other thing that goes into the minutes for today.
okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Sorry we went a little bit over, but I
need
think,
Motion
we
to
did good
adjourn.
work. So thank you.
Great work.
Marina, you
And
got a
ready.
motion to adjourn? Yeah, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Is that what
second.
you want? You're seconding it, okay.
Larry, do you want to say something off camera?
I mean,
You just went like this. It won't be on our minutes, but you can say whatever you want. Do you
I
have
was
something?
just waving goodbye to everybody.
Oh, is that all?
Hi.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for the
Bye.
time. And
Bye.
get back to you. Have a good few
Bye.
weeks.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.